Greetings, namaste. First of all, being in Nepal. So, few words of Dharma. Message from Nepal. I'm sure all Dharma students must be practicing well. But sometimes we need to be reminded. So since I'm the Lama, must be my job to remind. So I think when we talk about Dharma, one of the most important aspect of the Dharma is how we live day-to-day life, which is the relative condition. Now, relative practice, which is positive relative practice we are talking. Positive relative practice is so important to create and accumulate that positive energy and merit, what is known as merit, because without a merit, then this precious condition of a human rebirth will not be possible to achieve in future life, and also we squander that at the present life if we are always engaged in involved in a negative situation, negative deeds. So since we all want happiness presently and in the future, and ultimately we all want to gain freedom, then first stage is to really know what is, how to practice positive deeds, whether through mentally, or speech, or body, speech, and mind. Now, of course, in the teaching, it explained a great deal from the Hinayana teaching about the 10 virtues, 10 unvirtues, to abandon 10 unvirtuous deeds and accumulate 10 positive deeds, as well as in the Mahayana teaching, the 4 immeasurable compassion, then 6 paramita, and so on and so forth. The taking the 2 bodhisattva vows, aspiring bodhicitta mind and actualizing bodhicitta mind, which is both on the relative level, relative bodhicitta, then on the absolute bodhicitta, the wisdom, which is ultimately the most important, to know what's the nature of the reality of phenomena, whether it's the reality of the external phenomena or internal mind. So we need to really know the nature of the mind, in one word. So, but in order to have the stage where we can learn and study and practice, we need a human body. We need it now, which we have. Of course, its impermanence, it may not last forever. But then, even after this life, we need to come back in another positive condition, which is another precious human rebirth. Of all the different rebirths, positive human rebirth is considered the most precious. Therefore, it is called precious human rebirth. Compared to the other 5 realms, which we talk about, gods' realms and demigods and hungry ghosts, so forth. Not possible. But with a human rebirth, all the conditions which involve in that really makes a great opportunity for us to realize in this body, realize the ultimate truth, the nature of the mind, and then find liberation. So therefore, I ask everyone, in your day-to-day life practice, please practice compassion, kind-hearted, through your body, speech, and mind, practice positively and try to abandon negativities of body, speech, and mind. To sum in one word, His Holiness Chhoje Rinpoche's teaching in one sadhana, it talks about, and it says that, please bless me not to look at the fault of others, bless me to look at the fault of myself. And that's very true. If we try to look at fault of others, there will be no end. In fact, it will disturb our mind and be more afflictive emotion and more negative result, which is suffering. So we need to, if we have to do Dharma practice, then we have to do Dharma practice within our mind, within our heart. There's no Dharma practice outside of your mind and outside of your heart. So we need to focus on that. There are a lot of books, and then Chris Monson is giving teaching on the Bodhichara Avatar teaching, which is extremely important, one of the most essential meaning. Without that, there is no way you can find enlightenment, the Bodhicitta mind. So please hear those teachings well and reflect on their meaning and finally put them into practice. And then at the same time, your Mundo practice, all this practice, finally it culminates to understand, make you realize the nature of your mind. Don't worry that you have to keep reflecting on yourself forever and ever. You need to do for the time being until you realize. Once you realize you don't have to do all this thing, then you become, all your obscurations and defilements and confusion of duality all will be dissolved or liberated. Then, you are just like who you are, which is a Buddha. You are an awakened mind. So right now, before we are awakened, we have to do a little hard work sometimes, whether it's prostration or whether reciting the mantra or whether it's watching your own mind, seeing your own faults. We have no choice, because we're stuck with a mind where there's a lot of faults and a lot of problems. So in order to change this mind, we are very fortunate we got a precious human rebirth, a condition, and not only a human rebirth, but precious, which we met the Dharma. We're in a path where we know what is compassion and what is not, what is wisdom and what is not. And that's called precious. And it will not last forever. We day by day, we're getting closer to death. We're not getting farther from death, we're getting closer. So you don't have much time. So you need to use this remaining time, whatever is there, to best of your opportunity to make yourself fully bring a fruition of the essence of the Dharma. And then something like that. And I will meet you all very soon and send my love and blessing to everyone.